Greetings everyone, I am Dr. Wolf, and today I wanted to actually talk about some upcoming episode synopses, specifically episodes 6 through 9 of Season 9 My Little Pony. For those of you who wish to avoid spoilers, I am going to be going into some specific details, so here's your chance to bow out now. On to the synopses themselves. Episode 6, Common Ground. Rainbow Dash's old pal Quibblepants needs help to bond with the daughter of his new special friend because, like Dash, she's a real sports pony. The return of Quibblepants. Now, we knew that Patton Oswalt, who voices Quibblepants, would be coming back for quite some time now. But what we more recently learned from an interview with Patton Oswalt is that both his wife and his daughter in real life are going to be voicing the characters in this episode, his special friend and her daughter. And I found that to be quite fascinating. I mean, my goodness, how long has it been since a family has been able to voice ponies together in the same episode? And that's pretty rare. And can you imagine how exciting it might have been for Patton Oswalt's real-life daughter to be voicing a pony character? I am very much looking forward to seeing how that turns out. But as for needing Rainbow Dash's help because his special friend's daughter happens to be a real sports pony, I mean, that explains the return of Buckball as shown in this image here. And yeah, that does make a lot of sense. But as to what kind of lesson the MLP staff intend to teach here, I'm not entirely sure just yet. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Episode 7, She's All Yak. When Sandbar asks Yona to a pony dance, she goes to Rarity and her friends for a makeover in appearance and personality. Also, if you take a look at this image, I'd be willing to bet that this is actually from She's All Yak, since if you zoom in close on Twilight's posters that she's carrying around, it depicts a couple of ponies dancing together. Just a thought anyways. Sandbar asking Yona to a dance. Oh, wow. Well, of course, I still stand by the idea that Yona is best young 6, so I'm very, very interested in an episode that focuses primarily about her. I mean, Yona going to Rarity and the rest of the main 6 for a makeover and a personality change? I'm sure there's going to be a lesson about how, hey, Sandbar wanted to ask you in the first place because you are the way you are. At least that's what I suspect is going to happen. But I'm hoping that the MLP staff will throw us a bit of a curveball with that lesson. Make it a little deeper, a little more nuanced. We'll have to wait and see on that, but the idea that Yona gets her own episode before the show's end. Bravo. The one of the young 6 that I wanted to see with their own episode the most. Episode 8, Frenemies. Grogar sends his Legion of Doom on a mission to become allies, but his plan works too well, and they almost become friends. And now we have an episode focused on the Legion of Doom. I'm still gonna think of that old show every time I hear that. Meanwhile, at the Legion of Doom. At any rate, though, we saw just a hint, a little hint of what Cozy Glow intends to do with both T-Rex and Chrysalis back in the Season 9 premiere, getting them to be more friendly with each other, to say nice things to each other. And now, apparently, we're going to get an entire episode based on that premise. Oh, goodness, that's going to be hilarious to watch. Both T-Rex and Chrysalis shooting daggers at each other and lobbying insults. But we also will likely get to learn more about Grogar and perhaps just a snippet about his eventual plan. And yeah, given how much more threatening Grogar seems to be compared to all the other villains we've seen in the series thus far, I'm hoping that the MLP staff will give us a few more snippets about his personality, his origins, and exactly how much power he wields currently. And on top of that, what use would Grogar have for a little character like Cozy Glow anyway? I mean, it has been established that she can be subtle and sneaky in her planning. She's able to manipulate others, but how many citizens of Equestria, especially the most powerful citizens of Equestria, know exactly who Cozy Glow is and what she tried to do? How can she be subtle and manipulative with pretty much anyone these days if most everyone already knows that she was responsible for almost taking magic out of Equestria in the first place? Although, it could be that Cozy Glow is giving instructions to someone like Chrysalis on how to be more subtle and manipulative. If she's the coach, and Chrysalis is the one going out into the field and enacting plans, you know what? That actually might work. Or maybe it's all going to have to do with kidnapping ponies and having T-Rex draw upon their magic one by one. I don't know. The more I look into this concept and the idea that Grogar wants them to be allies but not friends, that's where he draws the line. What does that mean for the eventual story arc of My Little Pony Season 9? Episode 9, Sweet and Smoky. Smolder returns to the Dragonlands with Spike and Fluttershy to help cheer up her sensitive brother. But when they arrive, they discover the dragon eggs aren't hatching. From one Young Six episode to another Young Six episode, Smolder returning to the Dragonlands with both Spike and Fluttershy to help out Smolder's sensitive brother? Oh, that's a little curious. Now, she did mention all the way back in Moltdown last year that her older brother, when he was molting, he got kicked out. And I wonder if any of the dragons shown in this image here might be her brother. I mean, what if it's Garble? Does he seem the sensitive type to you? Is it possible that he might have been hiding his sensitive side all this time because he felt like he had to be macho? It's possible, I suppose. Or it could be that the MLP staff are just going to introduce another dragon to fit the role of Smolder's brother. I am still curious about why Spike is holding on to this little handkerchief with hearts on it that looks to be a little burned. I mean, what does that have to do with the story? And even more curious, dragon eggs aren't hatching? What in the world might be causing that? Still, the idea of having Fluttershy, who is shown to be terrified of dragons from way back in Season 1 and Season 2, how is she even going to be convinced to go to the Dragonlands? I'd like to hear your ideas on exactly how that conversation is going to go. At any rate, there is a lot to think about here. The return of Quibblepants and his voice actor and both his real-life wife and daughter taking part, that's fun. Yona getting her own episode, that's even more fun. Smolder going back to the Dragonlands with both Spike and Fluttershy, still curious exactly how they get Fluttershy on board for that. And then, the Legion of Doom. It's gonna be very exciting indeed. And yeah, I'd love to hear what each of you think about these little synopses. Who do you suppose is going to have the most interesting episode of the ones listed thus far? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, because as always, I am Dr. Wolf, and I look forward to hearing from you.